Hi, I'm David Furman, and I'm going to talk today a little bit about the Moment line of iPhone cases and accessory lenses. So first of all, we've got various things here. I guess the most important thing to me is the iPhone photo battery case. And this is a protective case, so it's got a fairly soft edge around it. It will protect your iPhone against gentle falls. But the other beautiful thing is that you can see it's quite slender. It has a battery built into it that will extend the life of your iPhone 2 times about. It's got a 3,400 mAh battery in it. So anyways, that's quite beautiful. It's still pocketable. It'll slip into my pants pocket without looking too gross. Okay. The beauty of this case is that it also accepts a series of 4 accessory lenses made by Moment. I have 2 of them here. I have a wide-angle lens and a telephoto lens. This is the wide-angle lens right here. It's you can see it's a fairly beautiful piece of glass. It's got a tulip lens shade on it, which is reasonably effective against lens flare. It's fairly heavy little unit, compact but heavy. To install it, the photo battery case, first of all, has bayonet mounts over top of the iPhone lenses. Now in my case, I have an iPhone 8 Plus, so that means that there's both a wide-angle lens built into the camera and a telephoto lens built into the camera. So with the wide-angle lens, I would install this over the wide-angle lens of the iPhone. So all I have to do is I just align the white line on the lens with a little black line that's here on the case. Just line it up over there and give it a quick quarter turn, and it's installed. And now I have a very wide-angle lens on my camera. As a matter of fact, here's a sample of images taken with the iPhone and the Moment lenses. This one was taken with the Moment 18mm wide lens. This is at the Forks in Winnipeg. Here we have the normal iPhone wide-angle lens labeled 1x on the camera itself. And a little bit closer, this is the telephoto lens on the iPhone labeled 2x. And here we have the Moment 60mm lens attached over top of the iPhone 8 Plus telephoto lens. You can see how soft the Moment 60mm lens becomes at the corners of the image. And that's in comparison with the corner of that very first lens picture taken with the Moment 18mm lens, which is quite sharp right to the corner. This is the interior of the Forks Market taken with the Moment 18mm lens. Looking quite sharp corner to corner. And here we have the standard iPhone wide-angle lens, 1x lens. Again, also quite sharp. This is the iPhone telephoto lens. That's the 2x lens. And here we have the Moment 60mm lens mounted over top of the iPhone telephoto lens. And again, if you took a close look, it's very soft at the corners of the picture. Now, getting back to the case itself, if you look right here, you can see that the bottom is quite extended, and that's because when you install the iPhone in the camera, it requires a lightning connector to connect it to the iPhone. Right here you see little ports for the speaker, and the sound is fairly clear. There's a lightning connector down here at the bottom, very similar to on the iPhone itself. What this allows, it allows you to connect your charger directly to here, and it will charge both your iPhone and the battery itself. It also has a couple of loops here. You can buy wrist straps or shoulder straps that will mount onto this. On the top of the case, there's also this little silver button, which is quite neat. It's actually a shutter button that will link to your camera app on your iPhone. Now, as soon as you purchase the battery case and the lenses from from Moment, you'll want to go to the App Store and download the free Moment app. Now the Moment app is primarily a camera app. It's like the iPhone camera app that's built right into your phone. This is just a Moment's take on that. It also has additional functions. If you have the battery case, it tells you the battery charge and what have you. So it's very good. The other thing that it does is it links this silver shutter release button to both the iPhone camera and the Moment camera. So if you push down on it, give it a full push, it will act as a shutter release for either of the cameras, either the Moment camera or the iPhone built-in camera. Now, if you're using the Moment app, the Moment camera, then if you give it a halfway push, then it will lock exposure and focus. So it's pretty much acting a little bit like a larger, much more expensive DSLR in that respect. So I think that's a really neat feature. Also, it sort of improves on the ergonomics of your iPhone. So having this nice soft release up here is really quite helpful. Anyways, so that's the battery case itself. So we'll just take that apart. I should mention that one of the downsides, two downsides to this battery case. One is that although the lightning connector does connect right through and allows you to charge the camera and the case, and also allows data transfer, it will not work with wired headphones. So you would have to use a Bluetooth headphone like the AirPods, for example, or a wireless headset. So that's the downside. The other downside is that the bottom microphone does not work. So if you're using a voice recording app, all you get is a very garbled low sound out of it. You have to, if you want to use this kind of apps, you pretty much have to take the camera out of the case. So let's do that. Now, just like installing it, the top bends back like that, and then you pull the camera out. It's quite tough. You have to grab it. It's actually getting a little bit better than what it was before. It was originally, when I first got this, it was extremely tough to pull out. You'd have to yank it and pull and coax it out. Anyways, now it's getting a little bit easier, but it still takes a little bit of effort to do that. And then what I did is I bought another case. This is called the Moment photo case. The only difference is that this one doesn't have the batteries. And the other difference, I guess, is that it slips in really easy. You just sort of push it in, and there it is. It's mounted in there. It has all the button functions around the edge here. I find these are a little bit more projecting and a little bit easier to push by accident. It also, at the bottom, it's a complete cutout because there's no battery here, no battery connection. It's a complete cutout, so your bottom microphone works, and also it connects directly to the iPhone lightning connector, so that you can use your wired earbuds with this case. So for day-to-day use, when I'm just running around town, this is the case I tend to use, and it's just a little bit more compact, a little bit lighter, a little bit more easily fitting into my pocket. So that's that. Now the other thing too is that it still has the bayonet connectors over both the telephoto lens and the wide-angle lens on my iPhone 8 Plus. So again, I could just take my, there we go. I've talked about the cases now. I've got the two cases here. I've talked about the battery photo case. I've talked about the Moment app, which you should install. Now let's get a little bit more detailed about the lenses. There are 4 lenses that you can purchase from Moment that are specifically designed for these cases. One is the 18mm super wide angle lens, which I have here. The other is a 60mm telephoto lens, you see here. And both the wide angle lens on an iPhone 8 Plus, you will want to install over just the wide angle lens on the iPhone. That makes it super wide, of course, and this lens it's really sharp from corner to corner. I've tested it a couple times just looking almost straight into the light, and it seems to handle lens flare pretty damn well. So I'm pretty pleased with this lens. The other lens is the telephoto lens, the 60mm. I find this a little bit less useful to me. primarily because if you go to the Moment website, it labels this in various places as a telephoto portrait lens, and I think that portrait is very important because it's actually designed to be soft at the edges, and it is very soft at the edges. So that while that might be great for taking portraits and you want sort of that furry sort of pictorialist look to your pictures, when I'm taking my outdoor landscapes and what have you, I want to start with a fairly sharp corner to corner kind of lens. So I find this a little less useful for my purposes. Anyways, those are the two lenses I purchased. You can also purchase a macro lens, and there's a fisheye lens as well. I didn't find that I'd be using these two lenses very much, so I decided not to, and they are fairly expensive. In terms of US dollars, this one, the wide angle, is the most expensive at, I believe it's $90 US dollars. And this one's, sorry, this is $100 US, that's the wide angle lens, and the wide angle is $90. And the other two lenses, the macro and the fisheye, are each $90. So it can add up to quite a bit. By the way, the ordinary case right here, just the regular photo case, is about $30 US, and the battery case is about $100 US. The other downside I see to these is that it just gets down to the fact that you've got a lot of accessories that you're carrying around these lenses. What do you do with them? Like, one of the beauties of having an iPhone for photography is that you can just pocket the camera. It's always with you. It's the camera you always have with you. And I think that's great, and that's what I really like about using an iPhone. As soon as you start to add accessory lenses, then all of a sudden you need pockets for them, what you do with them. The lenses themselves do come with each of them, they come with a lens cap that protects the lens, and you will really need this because as I mentioned, that wide angle lens is, the glass is particularly vulnerable. They also come with a little pouch, carrying pouch right here. You can put your lens in, and I guess theoretically you can put this in your pocket, and it will certainly add a little bit of a bulge. Putting both lenses in your pocket is not going to look particularly attractive at all. So what you do with this situation. And the other thing too is that I must mention is that if you're taking photography and you're using this as your always there camera that's instantly available, it's not that instantly available if you have to all of a sudden take this out of the little pouch, take off the lens cap, and you're holding these in one hand, let's say, and then you have to align this up with your, oh, there we go. See, I'm dropping stuff all over the place. So just a little bit less friendly, considering this is my go-to snapshot camera. And then you've got two lenses, then you're changing back and forth. There's just too much stuff here, I think, with all these cases and lens caps. Moment does have a little lens thing that you can buy here. It's not terribly expensive. This one holds the two lenses that I purchased, and it's soft enough that I can put the lenses in here without having the lens caps on them. So at least now I can just open this up, grab a lens, mount it on the camera, and I'm good to go. The problem becomes is that now I've got a fairly bulky package, and what do I do with it? It's got a nice little belt strap here, but it's a fairly narrow belt strap, and I'm not too sure what I would connect this to yet. I haven't quite figured this out. I think in the end, if I'm going to use this system, I'm going to end up having a man purse in my case, that will, over the shoulder, that will hold my lenses, perhaps even my iPhone in it, so that at least everything there is available. But then again, if I'm carrying around something like that, an extra case and what have you, why not just go to my go-to big camera, which is a nice mirrorless Olympus camera, which is a little bit bigger, I'll grant you, but if it's around my neck anyways, it's always there and always ready to go. Overall, I really love it. I'm particularly love the battery case. I think it's going to be fantastic for those long trips. And I'm pretty sure I'll be using I have been using the wide angle lens. The telephoto lens, I'm a little bit less sure of whether I'll actually use that myself. I'm having it all times for the very few portraits that I actually take, close to zero actually. I'm not too sure if it's really going to be valuable enough to take with me. So if I'm just taking this one, I guess what I could do is just put it in the case and put the lens cap on. Well, actually not put it in the case, put the lens cap on and just jam this in my pocket. The rear lens element is well recessed, so it's not going to get scraped in my pants pocket. Of course, it might pick up a lot of lint in there, so you just have to make sure that stays clean. But you will always have to have the lens cap with you in this case, and you better make sure you don't lose that lens cap. As a matter of fact, if you're ordering these lenses, you might want to order an extra lens cap just so you have one in case you lose the one that came with the camera lens itself. I hope you found this useful. If you want a more complete review, written review with sample pictures taken with these lenses using the cases, then you might want to take a look at my blog. It's walkclickmake.com. There's some product reviews. There's a lot of walks that I've taken around Winnipeg, in Japan, and other countries. Take a look at it, see what you like, and by all means, like the pages that you do like, and leave comments too. Anyways, good to talk to you. Talk to you soon. Adios.